Hello everyone, this is Boricua Beings and welcome to Let's Play 999. In the last episode we were still doing the searching of the rooms and trying to escape, and I knew it was going to take me a while, but man, I didn't know it would take me this long. It's because I keep getting interrupted, and also that these guys, instead of searching the whole time, they're actually stopping to talk a lot. And Santa's a pretty weird guy. He doesn't like four very interesting words: hope, faith, love, and luck. Yeah, he's a very bitter guy. And now he's saying he likes the number 9 and hates the number 4. I don't know what's his deal, so let's find out right now. So what if it's last place, right? At least it's not some lame-ass middle number. Santa's explanation made no sense. Junpei was even more confused than before. You play? Play? You mean like play the stock market? You mean like gambling? I'm sure you mean gambling, but what will happen if I say the stock market to you? You mean like the stock market? Nah, that's not what I mean. Why the hell would you think that? I mean, yeah, I do stocks too, but this last statement, more or less thrown away by Santa, caught Junpei very much by surprise. Yeah. Huh. Interesting guy. You? A stockbroker? Yeah. Got a problem with that? No, you just don't look like the type. He definitely doesn't look like the type, but hey, money is money, right? I guess he's a smart guy underneath all that. What Junpei didn't say, of course, was that he didn't think Santa looked smart enough to be a stockbroker. Man, that stuff's just like gambling, you know? All you gotta do is bet on the winning horse. Nothing that hard about it. You sure sound pretty confident. So, are you betting on winning horses? Course I am. You remember a couple years back when the stock for Cradle Pharmaceuticals shot through the roof? Stacked a few bills over that, if I do say so myself. Uh-huh. Uh-huh was all Junpei could think of. Yeah, what can you say other than, man, you're rich. He'd never even heard of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Fortunately, he was saved quickly from further embarrassment. Hey, how long are you going to stand around wasting time? Stop screwing around. The voice screaming at them from the other room was unmistakably Lotus's. Junpei and Santa looked at each other. The lady has spoken. Santa sighed. We'd better get back to work before we really piss her off. I don't want her beating me up. And with that, Santa walked off, slowly. Hey, wait! We weren't done! He started after Santa, intending to catch him, but... Uh-oh. Lotus is like, what are you doing? Lotus appeared from the next room, blocking his path. Her posture suggested she was not about to let him pass. Every time I hear about that or see something like that, I always go back to Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass! That is like my go-to for a lot of things. Okay. There was nothing for it. He had lost. Yeah, don't go up against her. She's too tough for you. Okay. I'll get back to work, dang it. Her glare suggested any other choice would not have ended pleasantly for him. Junpei mumbled to himself under his breath and went back to his search. But she's right. I mean, we gotta focus on getting the heck out of here. Okay, so we have the tile. Anything else? The sofa again. How many tiles do we have? I don't know. Hey, Junpei, that tile you've got. You think maybe you're supposed to put it in one of those empty spaces? I mean, the pattern does look kind of the same, doesn't it? I kind of said that weird. Sorry. He's right. Of course he's right. I think so too. But if that is the case, you're going to need to collect all 3 tiles, right? Don't you think we should collect all of them before you start putting them in? Oh, okay. So I don't have enough, so... Alright, I'm gonna go to... hold on. Let me check in here really quick again. Do we have a curtain? Can I put the curtain up? The curtain... There's a curtain rod running along the ceiling. Let's put that shower curtain on those hooks. Alrighty then. Let's try spreading the curtains. Oh, a hole. Great. Wow, that's a pretty obvious peephole. Yeah. Somebody's really dedicated. Well, with a hole this big, you gotta wonder if maybe they wanted to be caught. Is that all you boys can think about? So you're saying maybe the one getting spied on was into that shit? Oops. Santa, you're gonna make me keep swearing, aren't you? Maybe they were into, like, those home invasion fantasies. Home invasion? Interesting. I see. You two are real idiots, you know that? Yeah. Alright, let's try... Hold on. Okay, what is this? There's a hole in the curtain. If I look at it from a ways back, I can see a single tile. Alright, from here I can see what tile it is. Looks like it's 5th from the top and 3rd from the right. Okay. 5th from the top and 3rd from the right. 5th from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from the right. Alright, looking through this hole, I can see a white tile from the top and 3rd from the right. Let's have a closer look, shall we? Nothing strange here. Nope, the thing's not budging. Well, then that means... What does that mean? I did click the right one. Okay. Maybe they mean in the... Okay. What's up? You're going back already? Well, I can't just leave June there by herself. Huh. What, you think you're her knight or her protector or something? You're creeping me out. Whatever, man. I'm going. Okay. June, what are you? Let's go in here. Now, it was 5th from the top. Here it is. Yes, this one's loose. I think I can get under this with my nails, and yes! Okay, another one, yay! Nice. Okay, cool. Who would have thought this would be hidden in the bathroom, huh? You did a good job finding it. So, one side has a design like the rest of the bathroom tiles, and the other side has the black and white design. I think I've seen that pattern somewhere before. Yes, we have. Alrighty then. Awesome. It's right here. Let me look at it again. I get it. Yes, yes. What are you mumbling about? Did you figure something out? Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Really? You're not gonna even tell her? I gotta remember this. Alright, let's see how I do. Okay, let's go back. The exit. I'm gonna go check up on them. Here we go. There's a tile in the frame, so I guess I'm supposed to put tiles in the empty spaces. Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. This one is correct. Let's try this. Hold on. Well, that's... Oh, I have to turn it too. Hold on. No, that's not the right one. There we go. I think the left is correct now? No. This one I think has to go like this, and it has to go up here. There we go. Okay, not bad. Yes! Not bad. I did it. There. Picture complete. And there goes the frame. What's this? What do you mean, what's this? Pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a hole in the wall. Like a hidden safe or something, you know? Anyway, let's take a look. I think there's something inside. Yes, what is it? Oh, the Mars key! Whoa! This is one of those Mars symbols. The door at the end of the hallway. It has the same symbol engraved on the keyhole. Then, that's gotta mean... Yes, we can use this key to get through that door. Alrighty, let's go. Junpei messed around a bit with the key he had and looked blankly at the picture that had slid down. What's the deal with this picture anyway? Santa had only been mumbling to himself, but it drew Lotus's attention. Uh-oh, they're gonna talk some more. Okay. Do I have time in this episode? Yeah, alright. She looked at the picture and paused. I think I've seen this picture before. Where? In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. I saw this picture in his book. What's this interesting theory? Morphogenetic field, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it is giving me a headache. Santa put his hands on his head, as though he were in great pain. Science! Lotus merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued. It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shapes of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye. What part of that isn't difficult exactly? Lotus did not look pleased. Alright, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism. Telepathy? Yes, telepathy. Well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it is close enough for a simple approximation. Santa suddenly burst into laughter. He's such a G. Are you serious? Telepathy? Who do you think we are? Kids from the 70s? I can't believe someone would actually do serious research on something like that. Yes, I agree. Lotus's response was surprisingly curt. Junpei had expected at least some conflict. I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. It was probably just someone latching on to a statistical outlier from some study and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. See, you can't judge a book by its cover. He is smart enough to be doing stock and stuff, okay? And she is smart enough to do all this reading and science stuff. These people are smarter than they look, that's for sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in his book. Lotus indicated the picture they'd all been looking at. After a moment, she walked up to the strange picture, examined it, and then spoke. Hey, what do you think this picture looks like? Santa answered first. What do you mean? Isn't it just like abstract or something like that? It's just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. That's it. What about you, Junpei? Does it look like anything to you? I guess it looks like... Really? They're gonna have us answer. Okay. Now there's a lot of choices here, but the most... I remember this one being the best answer. Funyarinpa. Funyarinpa? I don't know how they pronounce it, but yeah. A Funyarinpa. See? I mean, this totally looks like one. Here and here. Junpei indicated parts of the picture that looked exactly like the other parts. After 3 seconds of silence, Lotus looked at Junpei. What the hell is a Funyarinpa? What do you mean, what the hell is a Funyarinpa? You mean you don't know? How the hell would I know? How could you not know? That's practically blasphemous. He's so serious, too. Say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funyarinpa. Goodness, you are such a rude woman. Junpei. Another 3 seconds of awkward silence went by. Lotus opened her mouth as she shook. Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you. This is a dog. Yeah, I don't see it at all. See, like this. Lotus pointed out parts of the picture, and eventually a dog took shape in them. Really? I didn't see that at all. At all. It looked as though she had a point. Okay, now you see it, but before? Hell no. It was a dog. Santa... Excuse me. Pulling a pharaoh. Santa also nodded in agreement. So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us. Long story. Lotus nodded and began to speak. A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took 2 similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify initially, but once you'd figured out the answer, you couldn't see it as anything else. The first picture was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, to make it easier, let's just say it was this picture of a dog. So, their experiment. First, they sent the pictures to other parts of the world where British radio and television didn't reach. To Ireland, the US, Africa, Europe, etc. Then, in each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. All in all, there were roughly 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people were shown the 2 pictures and asked, "What does this picture look like to you?" The results in and of themselves were not terribly interesting. 9.2% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. Then, 2 days later, they broadcast a new show. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it could be assumed that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture now totaled over 200,000 people. After another 2 days had passed, they gathered a number of research subjects from areas where British TV and radio did not exist. Yes, this story has a purpose. I'm sorry. Hang in there. This time, they were only able to find a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them were people who had participated in the first test. They were, however, given the same test and the same 2 pictures. The results were shocking. 10% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. The previous test had yielded a 9.2 success rate. The change was not statistically significant. The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people able to successfully find the dog grew from 3.9% to 6.8%, a very significant increase. So, do you understand? Do you realize the significance of this experiment? There was no way the second group couldn't have... There was no way the second group could have seen the picture. They lived far away from Britain and couldn't have seen the picture. But even so, it was only the success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What does it mean? Lotus looked back and forth. It's kind of a creepy story in a way, if you think about it. This game makes you really think. Okay, so Lotus looked back and forth from Junpei to Santa and back again. Normally calm and collected, she looked now as though she were very nearly possessed, and there was something manic about her manner. Santa took an involuntary step backward. Junpei didn't budge and stared straight back into Lotus's eyes. He's a brave man. Does this have something to do with that field or whatever it was that you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye. So if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through the field. Okay. Psych. Her manner suddenly shifted, and Lotus smiled broadly at Junpei and Santa. She waved her hand dismissively, doing her best to laugh the whole confrontation off. Oh, I was just kidding. You really shouldn't take me seriously. Well, I mean, the things I just told you about are true. They really did happen. But the results of that experiment really aren't anything to go by. They could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They are a TV station, after all. At last, it seemed that Santa had gained control of his composure. He had freaked out. Right. Man, I gotta admit, you had me there for a minute. I, really thought you were serious. Of course not. Like I told you before, it's all just pseudoscience. Oh, okay, right. Santa and Lotus laughed and gave one another jovial claps on the shoulder. Junpei, however, didn't feel so much like laughing. Something felt wrong, unclear. Yep. Alright, enough nonsense. We've got the key. Let's get out of here. Word. Lotus and Santa walked away from the picture, but Junpei stayed, staring at the picture of the dog. A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Dang. That's some crazy stuff there. Okay. Let's escape. Alright. Let's go to the hallway. I'll go get June. You guys head to the door. Okay. Roger that. Actually no, because after we escape, it's probably gonna do a story thing and we won't be able to stop right away. So let's stop right here. And then in the next episode, we'll escape and see what happens next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying this. I know your brains must be going, what? With the story and everything? But yeah, that's the way this game is. Alright, until next time, have a nice day. Bye!